Thank you so much. I want to take a really quick poll here. Now, when you guys think of bicyclists, what comes to mind?
Dangerous.
Dangerous, okay.
Healthy.
Healthy. Did somebody say useless?
No.
I heard something. I couldn't tell what
Tight
it was.
bicycle outfit.
Yeah, tight suits.
Tight suits.
Tight suits.
Spandex.
You
Okay.
know?
So we think of funny outfits. We think it's healthy, but it's also there's a lot of danger associated with it. As a bicyclist, I acknowledge there is a lot of danger with it, but there's also a lot of danger when you're in a car. What I want to do is at least help bridge the gap between when you as a driver see a bicyclist ahead of you and what you should be doing, how you should be maneuvering, so that everyone is kept safe. By the end, you'll at least know 3 maneuvers to keep in mind when you're on the road. Obviously, with time, you might get a little more familiar knowing what is safer for you and for the bicyclist, but for now, let's focus on 3 key points. To start off, let's go over some basic laws. Now, in Arizona, it is legal for a bicycle to pee in the bike lane, in the street, or on the sidewalk. That can vary state to state, but at least for Arizona, they are allowed to be in all places. When they're on the sidewalk, they have the same laws and the same, what's the word I'm looking for? They have the same rights as a pedestrian would. So you can almost treat them like if they were just walking their bike. When a bicyclist is on the street, they have the same rights that any car would. So you have to treat them like a car. So for our first example that we're gonna look at together, we're picturing let's say a multi-lane road, all lanes going in the same direction, with a bicyclist on the side that's going a little bit slower than you prefer, and so you want to pass them. Now keep in mind, they might be in a bike lane. That makes it really easy to pass. Just make sure you have at least 3 feet between the edge of your car and their bike. If you're not sure what 3 feet is, it's a little bit longer than being able to stick your hand out the window. So if you can touch them, you are much too close to them. If they're not in the bike lane, if they're actually on the street, then treat them as if it's your grandma driving to church on a lazy Sunday. She's driving slow, okay? A bicyclist probably isn't going to keep up with flow of traffic the same way that another car would, but treat it like a slow car. If they're in the lane, just wait till you can safely get in the next lane over to pass them, and then get back into the lane that you want to be in. But give them that space if they need it. They might be hugging the side of the road. If you can't, pass them by straddling the lane, which you shouldn't do anyways when you're passing, then just get completely over and then pass. Why would we do that? Why would a bicyclist even be in the lane? There are many reasons. I could give a whole talk just on that, but just understand the bicyclist might be seeing something that you're not. Maybe the bicycle lane isn't wide enough for them. Maybe there's a dead bird on the side of the road or broken glass that they're trying to avoid. Whatever the reason, that's how you would safely pass them. Just treat them like a slow car. Situation number 2 that you might run into. Say for this one, the bicyclist is in the bike lane and you're in your lane, so you both have your designated space, but you're coming up to an intersection where you want to make a right turn and the bicyclist is just ready to keep going straight. It's not like a stoplight or anything, it's just a side street that you want to turn on, and you're trying to judge, okay, do I have enough time to get in front of the bicyclist before I make the turn, or should I wait, slow down, and let the bicyclist pass before I make the turn? Just understand this is awkward for the bicyclist as well. Both people are trying to make a judgment call as far as whether there is enough time for you as the driver to get in front before you make your turn, or whether there's not enough time, you just need to slow down and stop, wait for the bicyclist to go before you make your turn. That one, as you can tell, those are really the only 2 options, and it just comes down to the situation. You'll have to make a judgment call. Don't put yourself or the bicyclist in danger, because obviously you don't want to hurt the bicyclist, but if you're being superficial, you don't want to hurt your car either and have the bicyclist run into you. So just be smart about it, make a judgment call there. That's situation number 2. Situation number 3 that often happens is coming to a 4-way stop. Let's say you and the bicyclist approach a 4-way stop at the exact same time. Okay, well, he's smaller than you. Should you just go or should you let him go? Again, treat him just like a car. Whoever got there first has the right of way. If you guys approach at the exact same time, whoever's on the left gets the right of way. In other words, the bicyclist who is riding on the road is trying to obey the rules of the road just like a car would. And so as a driver, you can help them to do that by yielding when it's your turn to yield, giving them the right of way when it's your turn to yield, and just following the rules of the road without having any animosity or begrudging feelings towards them, because you all know those people, whether you've ever biked before as a commute or whether you've been a driver and someone just honks on you or is tailgating you and is being a total jerk. Nobody likes that, whether you're a driver or a bicyclist. But obviously as a bicyclist, being a little more exposed, having a little more danger factor in the situation, it can be scary. As a bicyclist, we're just looking out for our safety just like you are as the driver. And the more informed we are, the better we can all enjoy the roads together. There is a great way that historian James Longhurst described this. And he says the basic concept of streets and roads is that they're a shared resource between travelers. The street is a public good that exists only when it allows the free passage of people upon it. And I really like that because when you think of where the roads have come from, we didn't always have cars. At one time, the roads were dominated by horses, and that has slowly evolved. But just because cars are mostly on the road now doesn't mean the roads are only for cars. They're for everybody, no matter how you're traveling. And so this is something to keep in mind so that we can all travel safer together. So again, pass safely, approach right turns cautiously, making sure you're making that judgment call. And when you come to a four-way stop, just pretend it's another car in front of you, and remember the rules of the road as far as whether it's your turn to yield or your turn to have the right of way. Thank you so much.